Good morning and welcome to the Minority Business Development Agency's virtual subs and sandwiches with J.E. Dunn. I am Marshette Turner, Director of the Houston MBDA. Our subs and sandwiches is one of our signature programs, and we are delighted to welcome back our corporate partners again from J.E. Dunn. During today's webinar, all attendees will be in listen-only mode. There will be Q&A at the end of this session where my team and I will be asking the questions that you yourself type into the chat. We encourage you to type your questions as you think of them in an effort to maximize our time together on this morning. As a reminder, this presentation is being recorded and will be available to all registered participants. Of course, I have my MBDA team present this morning, and they are Ms. Jessica Vasquez, Program Coordinator, Ms. Deidra Sutton, Business Advisor, Ms. Tanya McGilbra, Business Advisor and Alumni Client Engagement Specialist, Ms. April Felton, our Program Director for Pandemic Recovery, Ms. Kimberly Vera, Office Manager, Ms. Christina Cornelius, Business Advisor, and Ms. Weltonia Harris. So again, thank you all so much to my team for being present. And today's presenter again is J.E. Dunn, and I will now turn it over to Mr. Bruce Crocombe, who serves as the Director of Pre-Construction and Estimating for J.E. Dunn. Bruce?
Well, thank you so much, Marshette. It's an honor for J.E. Dunn to be able to speak with you all today at the MBDA subs and sandwiches. And I've got with me today our Hyde Griffith, who is the Houston office leader, and also Robbie Jacobs, who's the project executive and operations manager for the Houston office. Could you go to the next slide? We've prepared a presentation, and we want to describe a little bit to the group about J.E. Dunn Construction, about how we're involved, in the community and the commitment we have to the community. We're going to talk a little bit about our MCD program, and then upcoming opportunities and how trade partners that are interested in working with J.E. Dunn would get registered. And then we'll open it up for a little bit of Q&A.
Yeah,
with that, Robbie, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Good morning. So for J.E. Dunn, we like to start every meeting with safety. So I'm going to give a brief safety moment, but first, Yave Santana is our Houston office safety specialist. If you have any questions in regards to safety or onboarding with us in safety, he will be the one to answer those questions, and we'll provide his contact information to the group. So safety moments about everything, safety moments in general life. I want to give a real life story that's happened to a guy that works in our industry. He was priming up that tailgate weekend and started his grill. Thought he lit it, went out, put his hand over it, wasn't hot. He hit that ignite button and he was severely burned. So what I I've talked with him several times. What I learned from that is make sure you have proper ventilation on gas, but it's a big thing. It's like, hey, we all take for granted that one little second that what we're doing. So as we go into the colder months, as we're, putting gas on those fireplaces, make sure we're checking those. If you smell gas, turn it off, get out of the house and clear. And if you're having that weekend barbecue, just put the kids back and be safe as you fire up that grill. Next slide.
Good morning. My name is Hyde Griffith. I'm going to give you a couple slides to give you a little bit of an overview of J.E. Dunn. If you're not familiar with our company, the company was founded and is headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri, in the Midwest. So good Midwest values company, established in 1924. So in a few years, we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary, which is notable. And actually, J.E. Dunn started out as a trade partner. If I remember my history correctly. We've now grown to 26 offices and nearly 4,000 employees. And I think it was about 2008, if I'm not mistaken, Robbie, or I'm trying to remember the
That's
exact.
about right. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, about 2008, J.E. Dunn moved from a privately held company to an employee stock ownership plan. And so over the period that the ESOP has been in place, the employees have amassed nearly 22% of the valuation of the company. So we are employee owners, and that drives substantially how we think about the projects and how we execute projects and how we take care of trade partners as family. Next slide, please. We are in a lot of different markets. I would say that most of this is all vertical construction. We're really not a horizontal contractor in the sense of doing highways and bridges and things of that nature. There's obviously horizontal components to sites that we develop, but outside the parameters of that, we're not a big horizontal contractor. On the right-hand side is our engineering news record rankings by the different market sectors. Healthcare, number 8, justice, which is courthouses and jails and things of that nature, number 5. So you can see those numbers there. We're going to speak about some specific projects that fit into these market sectors as we go through these slides. Next slide, please. The Houston office is, and I like the fact we've got the Astros orange dot there for Houston. The Houston office is within what we call the South Central region. We actually have 4 geographic regions, the Midwest, the East, South Central, which is Houston's a part of, and the Western region or the Mountain region. So there's 4 geographic. We have a 5th region, if you will, but it's national in scope. It's healthcare. And so we also call that a vertical, so to speak, a component of the company that is large enough and specialized enough that it covers the whole region. And so we partner many times on healthcare projects with resources from within the region, for example, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Oklahoma City, and we have a small outpost that's growing in Tulsa. And so we merge resources. One of the jobs we're going to talk about is a project upcoming at HCA, and it's just that. It's a mixed blend of national healthcare personnel and local personnel. So these are the offices within South Central. Thank you. Robbie, I believe this is yours. You're on mute, Robbie.
Thank you. So yes, notable projects completed recently. This is on the right, Barbara Bush, Library Plaza. This was just an outdoor kind of sitting area, an area for the community to come together, community screens. This was about 4.8 million that we did for the city of Houston. Harris County Pets, this was a job out on 59 on the north side for Harris County. It's about 30 million. Crimson, this is a residential project in our residential portfolio. You hear more about some residential opportunities coming up, but this was about 115 million, right in the heart of the Galleria. Sci-Fair, this fire department was kind of in a group of string about 7 or 8 that we did in a row around Houston, all in the outlying areas, kind of around the Beltway area. And then we've been a staple at Ben Taub for about 8 or 9 years doing work in Ben Taub. There's always opportunities in the Harris Health System. And then we are out at the Houston Airport Systems with HAS. This goal, this project exceeded the goal. I think we were at 42 to 44% on minority participation on this project. So this is one of our staple projects and one of the ones we're proud of. And we are continuing to work at HAS. And we're going to tell you about an opportunity coming up. Just a notable project that just started. This is Valero. This project has actually been awarded to the trade partners. It's out in the I-10 South area. very exciting job. Got a good team on it. Then we have a confidential client. This is tailgate to the ongoing job that's right inside the Beltway, or right outside the Beltway. And then ESD 11 is another Harris County project. This was for about in spring. Hopefully the people on the call are out on that project, but these are the ongoing jobs that we have wrapping up right now and starting up.
Okay, in terms of our community commitment, there's 3 factors that we look at relative to community engagement. The first has to do with really donating locally with finances. We've recently completed our United Way golf tournament, benefit golf tournament. I don't think we have the final numbers in, but last year we raised just short of $30,000 for United Way. That's one of our primary commitments there. Number 2 has to do with volunteering in the community. There's a number of different places and institutions or agencies that we volunteer time in. And then the third, I want to spend a little more time on just hiring the community or hiring within our community. We have a number of interns that are starting. One intern is a local University of Houston student that will be starting here very soon. And then we have 3 project engineers that are coming on board in the next year. One of those is from University of Oklahoma. However, they're from Houston, so they're coming home, so to speak, to their community. Another is a University of Houston graduate, and another young lady is from a college in North Carolina Ag and Tech, who is from Houston. So that's a big commitment for us, is to do those things locally, donate, volunteer, and hire from within our community where people are at home. They have friends, they have family, they have connections and circles of influence, and that benefits us and it benefits the people we hire. Next slide, please. Well, there's the check in the bottom left. I forgot that was on there. So there's a number of different events where we volunteer, and here's just some pictures from here. I'm not sure if these Chick-fil-A sandwiches, I don't think they're coming to our office today. I think Robbie ordered pizza instead, but we didn't get any sandwiches today, not yet. So next slide, please. Okay, in terms of the way we look at our diversity program, in terms of the marketplace, what we think about in that area is really engaging a diverse range of trade partners. We do that on projects that have goals. We do that on projects that don't have goals. And so that's a commitment that we're making to the trade partner community, is to not only to pursue when there's goals, but then to pursue diversity in our trade partner selection and marketing programs, so to speak, when there are not specific goals. And we do quite a bit of negotiated or private sector market work. And so we're committed on that front. The second one, with respect to the workforce, has more to do with the way that we want to be a workplace of choice in the way that we operate and how we work within J.E. Dunn. In terms of the workplace, and those can be a little confusing, workplace is really individualistic about being able to attract, retain, and develop the right kind of talent, and we have an equal opportunity employment environment here at J.E. Dunn. Next slide, please. We have a minority contractor development program, and the picture on the right was taken last year with some of the graduates from our MCD program. This is a formalized trade partner education and training program, and we have specific goals that we're looking to engage those trade partners within the next calendar year. I think the one for this year is actually being held in our Oklahoma City office. However, this MCD program is designed to help trade partners advance, not that they don't need help advancing their technical skills in their craft, but sometimes they do need assistance or want assistance relative to becoming better business partners. And we think that's an essential part of a good general contractor and trade contractor, trade partner relationship, is the way we conduct business, the way you conduct business. And the great part about the way J.E. Dunn does this is that those lessons and those skills are transferable to our competitors and to our peers in the marketplace. So you may be on one of our jobs this time around. Next time around, you're working for one of our competitors. But the point is, we're invested in helping trade partners grow in their ability to manage their business and grow their business and grow capacity in how they operate. So I will say that we have a number of, you'll hear about a few of them coming up, but we have a number of larger scale projects, one with MD Anderson that is just entering pre-construction. And one of the things that we've been discussing internally is when we have those larger programs that are coming down the pipe, we have talked about instituting what I'll just call MCD Light, or a lighter version of that full curriculum. When there is a large volume of work, and in this case, MD Anderson has specific hub subcontracting goals. So those are things that we're evaluating internally. Even if we're not scheduled for a full MCD course run of courses, we will look at that on a case-by-case basis based upon the backlog of work that we have, whether those projects have goals or not. So as we stay connected and as these projects come out, we'll do more to advertise that and make you aware of those MCD-like programs that are forthcoming. Next slide.
Okay. Some of the, here's the stuff we've all been waiting for, I guess, right? The upcoming work. So I'd mentioned one of the larger projects that we have coming up is an MD Anderson Cancer Center project that J. Dunn has been awarded. It's in Sugar Land. This is a design build project. It's roughly 430,000 square feet. Going to have a construction budget just this side of $280 million. And we have a hub subcontracting goal of 21.1%. And so this is a project that's going to be a real focus for us in working with our trade partners to develop the bid packages, et cetera, so that we can successfully meet the goals for the project. Next slide. We listed one multifamily project here that's in the Montrose area. We actually have 2 or 3 different similar projects that are high-rise multifamily that are all in the throes of budgeting and trying to get some of those projects to go. But we have several opportunities that are high-rise multifamily. All the projects are in the $80 to $115 million range that we have coming up. Next slide. And then there's a multitude of other projects. There's a hospitality complex in South Houston that we're working on. It looks like we're going to have that project. There's multiple projects at the Houston airport system that we're going to be pursuing coming up. There's a sports park in the Manville area. We have a community hospital down in Alvin that looks like we're going to be working on. And then HCA Medical Center Kingwood This is a project that J Dunn has been awarded, and we're at the DD, design development stage, and so that project will be out for bidding on right around December 6th, I think is what we have on our schedule. But prior to that, we're going to have an event here in the Houston office, and I think we have a flyer, in this slide deck, but we'd also like to maybe figure out how to get that to you. We're sending the flyer out, so hopefully we're going to have an event here in our office on November 1st.
Bruce,
Yes, you can email that slide to me, Bruce, so we can make
Okay.
sure that we get it
The
out.
flyer. Okay,
The
that'd be
flyer,
great. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I transmitted it to Jessica Vasquez with the slide.
Okay.
She
That's
has the
perfect.
flyer. And I think
Okay.
the next slide, there's an excerpt of that when we get to that.
Yeah. So that's a project that we're going to be starting very soon. We have the project already, and so that'd be, one for everybody to take a good look at. The ExxonMobil shops building, we actually did turn that in yesterday. We had created this slide a little while back. We also have 3 LNG projects that are all active in one way or another. And those are Port Arthur, Lake Charles, Driftwood area, and all of those. Now, these are commercial construction projects that we do inside of LNG plants. So they wind up being warehouse buildings, control buildings, administrative type buildings. Next slide. Oh, this is the flyer for the upcoming event that we're going to be holding for the HCA Healthcare. That's that Kingwood project I mentioned.
Okay.
And then subcontractor management system. So the way to get registered with JE Dunn is through our SMS program, but essentially all you would need to do is go on to www.jedunn.com. That'll take you to a link that says work with us, and you go into the trade partners section and start creating an account. Essentially, you're just going to enter general information, and your qualification information goes into here. Once you've entered all the information into our, this is our pre-qualification process, by the way. Once you've entered all of that all your information into that, we can then add you to our solicitation list. And so this is how you go about getting on our invitations to bid list. Is essentially going on to SMS, registering your company, and beginning to fill out a pre-qualification statement. So if you want to get registered and begin receiving bid invitations, then please make sure you go on and do that. And I think that's all of the slides we have. We'd like to thank you very much. Have the opportunity to visit with this group and tell you about J Dunn Construction.
Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate you all being on with us this morning. I'm going to ask Tanya and Deidra to see if there are any questions so that you can ask those questions of J.E. Dunn.
Guys, this is Tanya. I have a question. What is your criteria for your minority contractor development program?
Generally, what we like to see is Primarily, we want to have trade subcontractors involved. In other words, we want it to be a craft that's involved in the construction trades. Oftentimes, there are other vendors outside of the actual construction industry that try to get in. I think beyond that, I think that's the only real criteria beyond that. I can, and Andrea Hollingsworth, whose name is on the bottom of the slide, winds up putting that list together each term every time we have it. And so she might be the person to reach out to as far as getting included in the MCD program.
Here's a question. Thanks, Bruce. Will final job site cleanups be required for any of your projects?
Yes, for all of our projects, we'll have final clean.
Okay. I had a question. Does J.E. Dunn have any job order contracts?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Does J.E. Dunn perform management and maintenance of their properties that they build?
Typically, the answer is no on that because we're typically turning them over. I don't know. I don't know of any specific examples where we've taken on extended O&M conditions. Typically, we would. The way I've seen that happen typically is that the trade partner may strike an arrangement with an owner. Robbie, you may have more specific information about that if the owner doesn't have their own program up and running yet.
So I guess I give two examples of projects that are coming off the gables, a residential building. They look to us for long-term maintenance suggestions on who should maintain pumps and HVAC equipment, who should maintain their sprinkler systems, and then also who should they use for cleaning. So we gave a list of recommendations that people that we've worked with inside our list, along with the people that have performed the scope of work. So they had kind of the first right of refusal, right, the mechanical side, but they ended up hiring one of the final clean companies to maintain their building from our list. Secondarily, the project that one of the ones you saw on the list that's ongoing, they are actually contracting with our trade partner to maintain facility after we leave. We're not going to be involved, but it's a relationship that was built in the project and that trust that they're asking us, hey, for your recommendations. Like, hey, the guy's here, let's just keep using him. So that's the way it's been done usually.
I'm sorry, this is Hyde. I was able to find a one-page summary on our intranet about the MCD program. It gives, and so Jessica, I'd be glad to forward that one pager to you. I think it gives an overall the goals of the program, the protege requirements, things of that nature. That might be a good place to start before going deeper with other questions for Andrea. So can I just send that to Jessica as well?
Yes, please do.
Will do. Okay.
Here's a question. With your design and build projects, who is serving as the designer and who is the builder? Do you do both?
I guess I'll take that one. So for our recent HAS project, we used Martinez. He is a minority design build firm or designer. So we partner with him. We do not design fully yet. So we usually pair up with a designer, an architect firm. We will do the construction, they'll do the designing, but we are growing our in-house architects. And at some point I do see us doing full design, at least partial design, in-house. Now as far as MD Anderson, that project coming out, that is a design build project with HKS, and inside of that they had their participation goals that we set for them and MD Anderson set for them. So we have those included in our design firm, but we are not the primary designer. We're just the contractor managing the design firms.
And then we're the builder.
Yeah.
Does J.E. Dunn require access control to any job site, such as turnstiles?
If the client requires it, so for some of our oil and gas jobs, yes, we do. And as recently on some of the stuff on South Campus for MD Anderson, they have required it. So if it is a requirement by the owner, yes, we will do the turnstile entry. Or badging security, you know, is a typical way to do it too. We count in and out with badging.
Okay.
Mhm.
Power generation services are required. Are they required on any of your projects? And it says we have available trailer mounted 850 kilowatt diesel generators that they would like to offer for rent.
We need your name, number, and a bulletin to stick on every project manager's trailer when they get in a bind. So that is, so we provide power generation typically on every project. I will say just an example, the Harris County job up in the Loetta area. As y'all know, nobody can get a generator on time, and we had to rent a temp generator for them to be able to open that facility in their first phase because Cummins couldn't deliver their generator. So yes, would love that information. Please share it through the group. It'd be just great to have that pinned up right here when I get asked the question next time, right beside me. I know where to go get one.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay. They have a question about they're a land surveying service firm. Do you have subcontracting opportunities in that area?
Yes, we do. We don't have in-house surveyors like we used to. So we definitely outsource that. And so if you would go in, and I guess one of the things they expand on at SMS when you're creating that profile, you're gonna ask for the type of solicitations you want. So you're gonna pick that service that you want to provide. So you'll get that solicitation when that service is needed from us. But yes, that is something we outsource on every project.
Okay. And there was a similar one also concerning the signage, subcontracting opportunity for signage firms.
So there's two types. Yeah, there's two types of opportunities there. There's the temporary signage that's usually in our general conditions. We usually buy that signage for sure on every project. We provide that signage. It's a rinse and repeat type deal. So some of the signage we keep and push to the next job, but some of it wears out, some of it's site specific. But then there's a secondary, the primary contracting opportunity on signage is for the building. That just becomes how it's spec'd. So for an MD Anderson type job, they may spec to do it in-house, but yes, we typically would outsource it if it is a designed
Okay.
product.
And just for clarification, I'm pretty sure you take all certifications, but we had questions designed around what certifications is required of the small businesses. So we can answer about 4 or 5 questions with.
Yeah. I think we take them all, but then again, it's like I mentioned earlier, that's internal. We want to look at those internally we'll take all types of certifications for internal and to know how we're tracking. But when it's tracking for the client, it's going to have to be a specific type that they want, and that varies between the clients. Some just want SBE, some want, Houston registered, some want state registered. So it's the more the better. But we track it internally.
Yeah, and I did understand during your presentation that it's not a requirement to get on your pre-qual list. It's just added value if you have.
Correct.
So, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to answer a couple of questions with that. Thank you.
I would also add that I started out in the Austin office almost 2 years ago. And one of the things that we did there for the in coordination with the city was J.E. Dunn helped or put on a workshop, so to speak, to help certain trade partners get over that hump. You know, maybe they had started the process but couldn't complete it or didn't complete it. And that process was very successful, and it showed partnership between J.E. Dunn Austin and the city of Austin. So I think, you know, we're open to helping with those types of things. We're consistently evaluating the mix of trade partners we have, as Robbie said, depending on the owner, the certification level that they have. And when we're able to, you know, partner with, in that case, the city of Austin, they brought some personnel in. We hosted a workshop in our office in Austin and really helped get a number of people over the finish line.
Maybe it's not going or something. Oh, thank you.
Jessica, mute.
Mhm.
Jessica, mute.
Did you hear the end of what I said?
No, could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Okay, I was just saying, in that instance, that was a specific project goal of a partnership between the J.E. Dunn, the Austin office, and the city of Austin, where we hosted a workshop in the city. Some of their personnel came in and assisted people with getting the paperwork done, finishing that up, answering some of those questions. And so, you know, we're open to things like that to help advance, you know, who is certified and trying to help the trade partner community get that done. So.
Okay,
I have a
thank you.
question for you guys. You have offices around the US. Do you have any locations where you have low touch or where you are in need of additional contractors? We do have businesses that are willing to travel.
Yeah, I believe our, Bruce, you could probably speak to this, but our SMS platform that we said before pre-qualification, that actually is accessible by everybody in the J.E. Dunn.
It is. You can, yeah, when you're filling in your information in SMS, you can also indicate which cities that you work in, and then that will add your information to that particular city's sub list as well.
We're kind of greedy and we only focus on South Central here on this call, but there's a big need here. I hope it's even a bigger need in Houston, but you know, you turn on the TV, it's everywhere in the United States is short on people. So, I mean, we're getting calls from North Dakota, New York, Kansas is about the only place that we have enough people. So if you think everywhere else we are besides Kansas, there's enough people.
Okay.
I have a question here. It says, I am an MBE that provides, I guess, VDC services and professional site documentation utilizing photography, video, drone mapping, laser scanning, and more. Are there opportunities available?
There's always an opportunity. I think when the solicitation goes out, we ask for those type services. Typically in-house, though, we will keep the VDC. We have personnel to do that, but the site documentation, drone, depending on how it's spec'd, we do go out to the market for that.
Okay.
I'll comment on one thing on the flyer I sent you, Jessica. Reading the bullets more detailed, it looks like it's a Kansas City flyer. So there's a reference to Kansas City, Missouri, DBE certified. That obviously wouldn't apply to Houston. So I think it's a good general flyer, but we'd be glad to provide, you know, something more specific to our market if needed.
Okay.
So just don't want people to think that they have to go get certified in Kansas City where our home office is to somehow work with us in Houston. That's not the case, obviously.
Right. Okay. Are there any more questions for J.E. Dunn?
Yes, there's a question here. Many of the projects they mentioned requested trade partners. Are you also looking for material suppliers such as safety products, goggles, hard hats, and safety vests, as well as structural steel?
Oh, structural steel, we do buy out supply only. As far as safety equipment, we do buy that out of Kansas City and it's purchased. So that is one of the things we do not purchase at a local level because of our safety requirements, and we want to look the same across the entire country. So we do buy it from one supplier. But supplying safety stuff is such as traffic and, Jersey barricades and all that stuff, we do buy that locally. Just not personal, not PPE.
Any other questions, Tanya or Deidra?
Yes, does J.E. Dunn choose the construction materials testing laboratory, or is that chosen by a subcontractor?
Typically the lab testing agency is chosen by the owner on the projects. There are some projects where it's our responsibility to go out and hire that work, but most of the time, more than 90% of the time, that's a third party consultant that's hired by the client.
I saw one question up here. There was someone who was interested in a possible internship. How would you guide them to look into that opportunity?
Call Robbie.
Yeah, they need to call me direct, and we can walk through that if they're currently already. It depends on where they're at, right? If they're in a collegiate environment, it's going to the career fair and meeting with our people in that environment. If it's somebody that's already in the industry, they just need to call me direct.
And I see this one that just came through. The upcoming Kingwood, and is it RSVP invite only?
Are you talking about the outreach event?
I'm assuming the HCA project.
So the project itself, it'll be solicited from SMS to our qualified trade, everybody that's signed up. So no, it is not a invite only type solicitation for that project. When Hyde mentioned earlier, this is a job that's kind of national healthcare. We talked about how we work together. This is their client, and they are working in Houston. But we are providing the on-site team. So it's one of them things where we were talking about how we jointly work together across the offices. So the solicitation will actually come out of Houston. We'll be putting it out in the market to everybody. So if you're signed up, you should get an invite. If you come to the event, we'll, make it known you want to be involved. We'll figure out a way to get you the invite.
Well, I guess they were referencing the flyer that.
Oh,
the flyer was meant for Kansas City. Is there a registration for a Houston event in reference to the HCA project?
The flyer that's on the screen is for the HCA event. I think the one that
and it says RSVP right here. There's a link.
At the bottom of the dark blue, there's an RSVP link. But for the most part, it's an open invitation. It's not an invite only.
Everybody on this call got the flyer. They're going to get it. So just sign up.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Is that it for J.E. Dunn?
The only thing I would add to this also is that, the HCA program does have specific goals. We're just getting familiar with that program, but this is one of the first steps is to have this event, and we will have representatives very familiar with the HCA program with us at this event. So
From the owner side. From HCA.
the other side, right, from HCA. So,
So to Robbie's point, all of our attendees, you need to make sure you register for this event.
right. And there's I sent Jessica separately the full page flyer. It may be a little difficult to read on screen, but I'm hoping she can push that out to the attendees or to your whole network.
Yeah.
Personally, even if they weren't able to attend this session today.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that out.
Great.
And it does have, that's not an all-inclusive list of what will be able to, be solicited, but as you say, there's demo, there's gates, there's fence, but there is some of that smaller stuff as we've talked about today, the surveying and stuff that'll be available also.
Okay.
Yeah, that particular project has renovation and new construction. It's there's about an 8,000 foot, I think, roughly 8,000 foot new construction expansion on the active hospital site, and then about 14,000 square feet of renovation. So it's a good project.
Well, we certainly thank you so much for spending this time with us on this morning. It is always a pleasure, always a lot of questions for J.E. Dunn, and that's why we look forward to working with you every year on this event and some of our other events. So thank you for being our corporate partner. Thank you for all of the information you gave today. And we will be getting the dates for next year's subs and sandwiches out so that you can select those and register for, select your date that you want to present and all that good stuff. So we'll get that out to you soon, J.E. Dunn.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Glad to
You're
participate.
welcome. Thank you so much. And we will definitely be talking to you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.